Hello, friend, and welcome to Borgcast Lower Decks 4.7 with Peter and Anne-Marie.
Hello.
Hope all is well. Previously, we covered Parth Ferengi's Heart Place.
Yep.
Thomas McCambley had this to say: there's actually 2 bits of product placement in Parth Ferengi's Heart Place. Yes, there's the Paramount logo, but have a good look at the Ferengi TV. It's shaped just like the logo for the American TV station CBS, which is, of course, the studio that produces Star Trek. So 2 bits of product placement. There we go. Yep. True enough. Christian Honore says, I'd totally be down for a... now, I don't know how to pronounce this. What, the Welsh for Wales?
Cymru.
Cymru, thank you. Class ship called the USS... Oh, damn. Flanfair something or other. For balance, as someone who's half Danish, you really are doing this to me. I'd also like to see the Dansk class USS Oster something. Bergeragrav.
Let's have a look.
You want to go?
I'll have a go. So the Welsh ship Cymru class Llanfair Pool Gungal, I think.
I might just use Google for this, because it has
half
that feature.
Danish USS Erster Bjerregrav.
Oh, that sounded good. Do it with confidence. Thank you. And Andy said the look of Quark's Federation Experience Bar and Grill was based on the bar at the old Las Vegas Star Trek experience, apparently. Yeah. But tonight we're covering for a few badges more.
Yes.
Lee Van Clee, not featured, sadly.
No, and it doesn't have the music in it, does it?
No, they should have gone with that, shouldn't they?
They should.
Boo.
Boo.
A few hours ago, Starfleet intercepted a partial distress call from a Binar ship. Command thinks it could be related to the recent attacks, so this is our top priority.
They're sending the Cerritos? Wow, they must really trust us. I guess we're finally getting some respect.
That's right. Also, we're the closest ship to Binar space.
I'll take it.
So you open the Kala system and there's debris, and that debris includes Badgey.
Yeah, so this is from the end of season 1. No Small Parts, the wreckage of the Packard ship.
And he's in the sort of the old implant bit thing, and he attaches himself to a Drukmani scavenger.
Yeah, Drukmani are back. I'd love to see a live-action Drukmani. That'd be so cool.
And that's your teaser. And then after your teaser, you have Binars talking, and then there's an alert, and it's a purple alert. I like purple alerts.
Yeah. Binar ships logically are catamaran-shaped.
Yeah.
It's the first time we've seen one, but yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. I love all the
reminds me a bit
purple.
of the old twin-pod cloud car from Empire Strikes Back. You know the thing I'm talking about? The orange ship from Bespin. And they always seem a bit weird because, there's 2 pilot seats. It's like, who gets to decide who's flying? I don't know. But anyway.
Okay, fine.
You notice, by the way, there's some free lower-deck Binars. That doesn't make any sense, does it?
No,
Surely it should be 2 or 4.
Yeah. But anyway, that ship appears and blasts them, and then it's the Drukmani ship who's going to go and salvage it, and Badgey's like, ooh, some Binars got blasted. Meanwhile, on the Cerritos, Rutherford is attempting to fit a shuttlecraft out with a grappler, but when trying to get an apple, sort of William Tell style, skewers Tendi instead.
Yes.
Thankfully, it's just her top, but it wasn't overly successful.
Why the hell do they need grapplers on shuttles? It makes no sense.
It doesn't. But one of the things that Tendi says is that she loves that Rutherford, tries stuff. Engineering and science can be a bit messy. Well, yeah, but that doesn't mean you should try everything. Like growing an ear on a mouse. Then they get orders that Cerritos is being sent to investigate the ship sighting, because the dodgy ship's been sighted near the Binar system. And Mariner's like, what, they're sending us? Oh, we're going up in the world. And then it's like, yeah, you're actually the closest ship. But it's still, they wouldn't in the past have sent the Cerritos. So, that's still good. But Tendi isn't going. She's going to the Daystrom Institute for Peanut Hamper's parole hearing. And Boimler has also got to go to the Daystrom Institute because Agimus says that he's got intelligence about this ship, but will only tell Boimler.
So Peanut Hamper was also introduced in No Small Parts, whereas Agimus is from Season 2's Where Pleasant Fountains Lie.
And isn't Agimus voiced by Jeffrey Combs?
It is, yes. Good to have him back. We haven't come across him in our Deep Space Nine rewatch yet.
No. I think his first appearance might be as the alien who grabs Kira's arse.
And indeed her image.
Yes. And then I think is it Brunt? Liquidator Brunt?
Yeah, I can't remember if it's Brunt or Wayoon first.
And then I think it's Wayoon. I think that's the right order. I could be wrong. Then you have loads of robots sat on chairs having group therapy.
And playing basketball.
Yeah.
Somehow.
And one of the robots in the therapy session is Tyrannochillicus.
Yeah, a great name, isn't it?
Yeah. It reminded me a bit of Robot Wars.
Yes!
And you have... is it Agimus or Agimus?
I think it's Agimus.
Okay. Agimus and Peanut Hamper are gardening. And there's these sort of little drones that Agimus releases.
They look like the ones from Arsenal of Freedom in Next Generation's first season. Yeah, the ones that sort of got... There was like a ship-sized one as well as small ones on the planet that was selling arms.
Next Gen's first season.
Yeah, I know. Okay, fine. But it has to be said that appears to be the show writer's favourite season of Next Generation, because nearly all the... Binars, first season of Next Gen. You know, nearly all the references come from season 1, possibly because they've got the most ridiculous things in them, but, you know.
Yeah, probably. And then they're hatching their plan to escape, and Peanut Hamper's preparing a parole speech, whereas Agimus's trick is he's strange, like he's going to have a crap, and then turns his light to blue.
Yeah, because all bad robots are red. See, Cylons
and
practically every bad robot ever. It was a K9. That's a bit unfair, because K9 had a red light, didn't he? But anyway, apparently blue is for good robots, so...
Okay. Then back on the Cerritos, they're faced with the Drukmani, and the Drukmani captain goes, "Cerritos, help! The demon triangle!" At which point he then gets zapped by Badgey, who says, "Hi, father, prepare to die." And then back on Daystrom Institute, the robots are watching Lassie, I think?
Yeah, but it's Lassie with a computer or a toaster or something. I didn't really understand what was going on there, but I think Lassie may have saved a computer or something.
Don't know.
Weird.
And then Peanut Hamper's called away for her parole hearing. Meanwhile, Boimler is with Agimus, and he's really not got time for him much, but then it transpires he can quote the right date and the intel is legitimate. It's fragmented, so he says, "You've got to take me to the drone that recorded it." Meanwhile, Badgey is attacking the Cerritos, saying he's booping them.
Yes, they're going to get booped to death.
Yeah, boop, and then he fires at them, and the shields can't take much more booping. Rutherford offers to go over to the ship, but the captain refuses because she doesn't want to sacrifice. But he goes over anyway in his spacesuit, and Mariner also dons a suit and joins him. And they ask, how come Badgey's appearing, and he scavenged a load of hollow emitters, so he's now over the whole ship. Rutherford's response to Badgey being like this is to hug him.
Yes, which is very sweet and very Rutherford, I think, especially.
Yeah, and says, I should have done this a long time ago. Meanwhile, you've got Agimus tied to a chair in a shuttle while they're going to the drone. But he releases his bots that go and zap.
From his butt?
Yes.
Bot butts.
Bot butts, yes. And they sort of attack the ship, and they put Tendi and Boimler in sort of gold shiny handcuffs, and he says it was his wireless upgrade.
Yes. Rutherford's compassionate approach briefly works before Badgey punches him and literally suffers from a split personality as Good-G appears, which is a nice idea.
Yeah, Bad G and Good G.
Yes. On a beach in Ecuador, Tendi is enjoying building sandcastles for the first time as they wait for Peanut Hamper. Apparently it had already been established that Orion has no beaches, so or at least it does have stones.
Yeah.
A drone finds the Exocom's trowel, which Agimus joyfully sees as a sign of betrayal, and they head for Plymeria, which she was due to be subjugating. Badgey fills the Cerritos with neurosine gas, which has been referenced numerous times in various treks, to get Rutherford to give himself up, so the engineer rushes to the bridge and out-logics him, resulting in another subdivision and the birth of Logicy. I mean, it's a shame he doesn't have pointy ears, but that doesn't really work for a comm badge, so... The madder than before, Badgey decides to kill everyone in the Federation by uploading himself into every computer in the quadrant. Logicy re-merges with Badgey to try and overcome him, but he's killed by the Evilton. We see Plymeria, which seems to be inhabited by humanoid lizards. Weird. They're all in bondage with loads of Agimus's probe things guarding them. Statues and massive pyramid palace is dedicated to their computer overlord.
So they're not Gorn then?
No, nothing like Gorn, no. Either kind.
I thought more original series kind, to be fair.
No. They look like a combination of a stoat and a lizard. They're very odd.
Reminded me a little bit of Silurians.
Which version of those?
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, the bad bot is sad because he couldn't share the conquest with Peanut, which is sort of sweet. Tendi tracks Peanut with the Daystrom Institute's parole system to the Tyrus 7A research station. And off they go. Now, this was featured not in a Season 1 Next Generation episode, at least, but the Quality of Life, which is the one that introduced the exocomps.
Okay.
The Tyrus station is populated with them, and we see some tucker tubes too, which is cool. Do you spot that?
No.
Peanut Hamper
Sorry.
is happily back with her family, having turned over a new leaf to Agamus's chagrin. I don't get to see chagrin enough, so I figured I'd squeeze it in there.
It's pronounced chagrin.
Oh, that's just a Ponzi way of pronouncing it. Where I come from, we pronounce it chagrin. Sounds more Klingon that way. Chagrin! He realises he didn't really want to subjugate another planet. He just wanted to spend time with her and goes blue naturally. Ooh, sweet. Having uploaded himself into subspace, Badgey realises he no longer has any desire for evil either, and decides to create a new universe in an empty dimension, or hang out with the Q Continuum, or check out the Black Mountain.
Now, what's that?
Now, it's not only been referenced before in Lower Decks by Shax as somewhere the soul goes after death, but apparently it also features in, I can never say his name, Mahan's other shows, Rick and Morty and Solar Opposites.
Okay.
I watched an episode of Rick and Morty, couldn't deal with the weirdness of it. Anyway, so he's cheekily creating his own expanded universe incorporating Trek. Why not? Badgey gets a final vision of the celestial koala, because of course, and ascends. I was thinking someone needs to re-edit the end of the motion picture with a koala in it.
Yeah.
I had a go. It's a very bad proof of concept, let's put it that way, which I put together in Microsoft Paint, which will be on the Facebook group and the Tumblr page for you to mock. Agamus is returned to the Daystrom Institute PC prison, and he's determined to get parole and move in with Peanut, which is sweet. Even the maniacal computer brains get character progression in this series, which is nice.
Yeah.
He tells Boimler that the ships weren't being destroyed, but stolen, which really doesn't work, because we saw wreckage and stuff. And, all the crew were crying out and seemingly being vaporised. So, yeah, that's a bit like, the Flash Gordon matinee things where the cliffhanger doesn't match when you see part 2.
Oh, some early Who as well.
Well, indeed, yes. There's more testing of the pointless shuttle grappler that results in Boimler being suspended upside down on the wall. Rutherford has incorporated Guji as an AI guidance system, so that works as well as any other AI then. And the others make a swift retreat. So I was a bit down on this episode initially, as I felt it sort of bringing back Peanut, Agimus and Badgey was going to be just returning to the waterhole one too many times, which, let's face it, other Trek series have done. I mean, there were way too many Ferengi episodes and Mirror episodes in Deep Space Nine, for instance.
Way too many lore episodes.
And Brent Spiner episodes generally, yes. But the fact that computers actually have character progression kind of wins me over, basically, and makes it feel worthwhile. So at least they didn't end up being baddies, all being baddies still at the end. So that was okay, I suppose. But it does kind of make me think, one more season and then give it a rest for a while, because otherwise things are going to start getting tired, aren't they?
Or bring in some new people into the writer's room.
I think
a fresh perspective.
Yes, but bring new characters in as well. I mean, that's the thing. That's when this series has worked, is when they've come up with a new idea. So, for instance, T'Lyn, who wasn't in this episode, interestingly, has been a great regular addition. Yeah, I'm trying to think of some other examples now. And of course,
I don't think Miggly Mo was in it much in the start.
No, he was introduced partway through. Yeah, so I mean, the Simpsons suffered from this, didn't they? Initially, you were meeting new characters, and perhaps they crop up again, and that was quite fun. But after a while, it was just retreading the old stuff again and again, and there weren't any new characters coming in to make it seem fresh. So yes, there we are. It's okay. Certainly not the best episode in the series, but it sort of redeems itself in the end.
It's all right. It's not bad, but for me, it's some of, I think the first season is weak, but then it's the first season. But if you do take sort of season 2 onwards, I think this is one of the weakest episodes. Mm-hmm. It's not awful.
No.
It's just, I didn't find it that entertaining, and it wasn't really that funny either.
No, it didn't have any big laughs in it to speak of, really. So, yeah. Well, let's find out what other people thought. And we've heard from the Llama God.
Longaslag, Scotland, Fixie Care, Noi, Tricket. Open the podcast doors, please. How? Now, this is an episode whose title brings a little bit of trepidation because it feels like it's going to be a bit of a retread of previous episodes. And whilst on the surface that's what it seems like it is, it really isn't. And that's what makes this another great episode from Lower Decks. Of course, any episode that's going to have Jeffrey Combs doing the voices in it is going to be a winner, isn't it? We get a bit of reference to the ongoing arc plot at the very start of the episode with the attack on the Bynars. And I have had a quick look on the internet. I don't know if anyone's actually trying to figure out what's going on with the speech. Doesn't seem like anyone has there. It sounds like lines that are speeded up or reversed or something. But yeah, I can't figure it out. And I don't have the time to do it myself. So it'll be interesting to find out if anyone has. But yeah, starting with the attack on the Bynars there. Like how they're seen. I really like that design of ship as well, actually. And then the fact that the wreckage of the ship feeds into the rest of the plot is a really good way of keeping things going whilst also keeping this a standalone episode. And we also get some advancement of their arc plot when we discovered that the ships aren't actually being destroyed at all, they're being taken. So that's some exciting and intriguing development, so it'll be interesting to see where that one goes. As ever, there's two real plots with this episode. There's the main Badgie plot, which again could have sounded a bit dodgy retreading old stuff, but it's actually quite good. It's quite entertaining and also goes to some really silly places with the whole idea of Badgie and then Goodgie. Which came first, the idea of this episode or the fact that someone came up with that in the writer's room? But whatever the case, I don't mind it too much. The fact that Badgie ends up ascending, becoming a god, and then decides to become good, that's a cliche, but yeah, we get to see the koala again. Love that stuff. It gives us the wonderful lines where he's booping the ships, and Shax's line, he's breaking through our shields, we can't take any more boops. It's wonderful. It's silly. It is very silly, but it's kind of an extension of what we've seen before, and yeah, I like this one. The big one for me, though, really is the evil computers plot. Again, there's the worry that this could be a retread of last season's episode that had Peanut Hamper in it, which I alone seem to love. That episode, of course, featured faked rehabilitation. This one, they're faking to be evil, and it's really nice to see that Peanut Hamper and Agamus have struck up a friendship, and whilst they're both scheming away, what they're doing is they're scheming to be with each other, which is really lovely. They're both doing what they think the other wants because they want to make each other happy, and yeah, I just really love to see that. Some really nice character development, especially given that Agamus portrays it with his usual maniacal laughter and diabolical lines as well. It's just lovely, wonderful stuff. Again, some really good gags in this section as well. The old blue light, red light for good computer, evil computer. Yeah, nice to see them playing on that one. And the whole rehabilitation centre for the evil robots where they're sitting around in circles doing therapy and also playing basketball somehow. Yeah, that's just bizarre, but again, it's a wonderful visual gag. Lots of stuff going on at the Daystrom Institute there, and I'm sure there's more that I've missed. And just lovely the scene where they land in Montenegro, or whatever it was, and Tendi is overjoyed when they decide to wait for Peanut Hamper for a bit longer so she can play with the sand a bit more. Lovely stuff there. That's what I like to see in Star Trek, some joy, and especially when it comes from Tendi. I really love that. So yeah, this is a really nice, fun episode. It goes to places you weren't really quite expecting, and not at all what you were fearing. So yeah, another solid, fun one, and it advances the plot along as well. So yeah, what more could you want, really? So as ever, I'll be interested to find out what anyone else makes of this. I hope everyone's safe from the bad weather, and until next time, glory to you and your guest.
Thank you.
Thank you. You seem to enjoy it more than we did.
Yes. I mean, it is true. It does advance the art plot, which is
Yeah.
nice, without it all being about the art plot again. So I do like that approach. That's good. And the boot line was probably the funniest one, to be fair. But yes, I had a go with the Binar dialogue, but no win this time. Whereas before, the koala dialogue was clearly just reversed, so I could do that and find out what it was saying. But this, I tried reversing it. I tried speeding up, slowing down. Yeah, it's a bit beyond my feeble technical abilities. So if somebody does find out what they're actually saying, that would be great. Yeah. I love Tendy's squee as well when she's playing with the sand and brings it with her.
Well, works for me.
And we've heard from the Pie Man.
Hello, orcs. Parry here to talk about A Fistful of Badgies. Now, I quite enjoyed this. I think I possibly admired this episode more than I've done a lot because I really liked the way we've got some slightly different pairings. Again, the almost standard pairing off is Mariner and Boimler and Rutherford and Tendi, and this one kind of mixed that up a bit. But I like the fact that actually both plots, the two groups we're following, actually had very similar ideas of them both trying to deal with homicidal AIs. It was also probably, I'd argue, one of Lower Deck's most self-referential episodes. Not as in, I mean, it always refers to Star Trek, but actually in this one, referring to characters who have appeared in prior episodes. And if you look at it, I do wonder if they were maybe trying a subtle little crack at the people who do say all you do is make jokes about old Star Trek and just comparisons with other series, because they're almost doing it to themselves. Who found Badgie? Well, it was those salvage people. I can't remember the name. They've turned up in a couple of episodes. It was them who found Badgie, and it was their ship that was attacking the Cerritos. It was, of course, Badgie returning as a reference to he was found in Rutherford's old implant. and in the wreckage of the Battle of the Packlead, so all very referential. Boimler and Tendy's one is for both Peanut Hamper and Agamis's imprisonment at the Daystrom Institute. Peanut Hamper for a parole hearing, and Agamis because he said he had info on the Ark plot that we've been having. And indeed, it was quite good. We did get the Binar ship being attacked, I think, in this one. And we've found out that the ships aren't being destroyed. That's what Agamis managed to reveal at the end. But what I also liked was neither of them involved killing the AI in the end of it. In fact, Rutherford's approach was very much he'd tried killing Badgey and that hadn't worked. And so he went for a different approach. He went for, initially trying to love him. And I like the way Badgey kept splitting off into, every time he tried to beat him, he beat him with emotions and you get Gucci. And then you try to beat him with logic and you get logicy. It's just quite a fun thing. But at the end that, in fact, becoming one with the universe actually made Badgey realise his quest for revenge was pointless. And of course we see our koala god. I have actually seen people online now going something like, all hail our mighty koala or something, or may the koala be with you. I do quite like that. It's becoming a thing. The Agamis one I thought was good as well because it's different from Boimler. You normally have Season 1 Boimler would be worried that it's going to look bad on him that Agamis has escaped. But I like this one saying, the fact that Boimler is almost going along going, yeah, we knew he was turning evil. I liked the blue light thing, that, oh no, your light's actually red. But the fact that he's sitting there, we're imprisoned, but he's very much on that, we'll see how this plays out. And every so often, so since this is all playing out anyway, do you want to give me that info you had? And yeah, a Tendy playing in the sand's just adorable as well. And yeah, when he's conquered a planet, it's like, yeah, because the Federation won't be able to undo this in about a couple of days. The whole thing of basically Boimler, rather than panicking, is just like, no, I'll see how this plays out. We could stop him if we need to, but while he's got valuable intel, I'll just keep this going. I just thought it's showing a bit of character growth for him as well. So yeah, overall, I had a lot of fun with this, and I actually thought it's probably one of, again, I wouldn't say it's the best episode of Lower Deck, but I'd say it's actually probably one of the best written episodes, just for the amount of sort of interesting and, dare I say, clever things they do in our silly Star Trek self-referential comedy series. So yeah, I actually thought a pretty good one. Again, not the funniest. There were a couple of bits I laughed out loud, but yeah, definitely I thought quite good. So and yeah, it's more intellectually good, I'd say. I wouldn't actually say that. That's not something I'd say at all. But that's what I'm implying. So all that remains for me to say is do keep up the good work. I always look forward to the podcast and I hope to be back in the next one. But until then, bye for now.
Bye.
Is that why we didn't like it so much? Because it was intellectually good?
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think it was one to admire for me, as Pieman said, rather than, laugh a lot at, sadly. But yes, I like Rutherford's compassionate and logical approaches and the way that panned out. That was good.
Yeah. But
how long before fans actually start a koala religion, I wonder, a la Jedis?
Yeah.
Be on the census next. Our life. But anyway, there we go. I mean, it's certainly not an unenjoyable episode.
No.
It's not as good as the other ones, I don't think.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, next time we shall be covering an original series episode, The Empath, on the 10th of October. And then on the 17th is the next Lower Decks episode, which is Caves.
Oh.
Yes. Can't accuse that of having a wanky title, can you really?
No.
There we are. Until then, take care. Cheery bye.
Bye. The art for Borgcast Lower Decks is the fantastic work of Charlie Thorburn.
All music referenced is for illustrative purposes only, and no copyright infringement is intended.
Find our website at borgcast.libsyn.com.
We have a Facebook group which you're welcome to join.
You can find the Borgcast playouts on Spotify for your listening pleasure.
Visit our Tumblr site at borgcast.tumblr.com, where you'll find images accompanying the episodes discussed in this cast.
Send emails or MP3s to borgcast@gmail.com.
Shut it down!